You just took the recording. Perfect.
Right, yeah, sorry. Okay, yes, indeed. So rubbish one is where the access. So we're going to look at that. And we're going to see what we can do. Okay.
I can't remember. It's only because I've got notes. Just to say
No,
that.
I'm
My memory's not that brilliant.
I'm impressed. Okay, so here we go. We've got somebody who deposits a barrel with his friends. And the owner did not specify where this barrel should be. He just said, I'll leave it with you, put it away in the garage. So he leaves it with him in the garden. The person takes it from the garden to the garage. That's all we know. And he moves it in a brace. If it broke while he was moving it, then we say, why was he moving? If he was moving it to care for the barrel, then that's absolutely fine. He's never liable for that because he's doing the right thing. If he's doing it because he wants to move for his own purposes, because it's in the way, or he wants to use it for something, or whatever, then if it broke while it's in his hand, he is liable. No question about that. What about, this is the tricky one. What if he moved it for his own purposes, he left it alone after he moved it, and then it broke? An hour later, a day later, a week later.
First of all, guy dropped it in his garden.
Yeah.
Said to him, look, I've got to go, whatever.
Yeah.
Just store it.
Look after it.
Look after it. So where you want to put it in your, I leave it in your garage. Where you want to put it, you can put it wherever you wish. This corner, that corner.
Right.
There was no specification from the guy to say,
yeah,
I want it over there.
Yeah, you're quite right. You're quite right. But you're going to see, it's not as simple as it seems. And we're going to go back to precisely this point later on. It's precise. So hold that thought, because it is precisely that point that's going to change everything around later. I can't say it now because I'll spoil the fun. But yeah, you'll see. Okay. Thank you.
Rabbi, can I just say something?
Hello, Zach. Hello, Alan. Yes.
Hello, Rabbi. I just need to say, I'm not going to go into any specifics, but something has just happened in my life. And it confirms to me, if everyone ever believes that there wasn't a God, that there is one.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you.
The law, Colin looked there when I said that.
Am I right?
Very, very, very interesting how what goes around comes around. And if you are kind, I'm not specifically talking about myself, and you're a mensch and you do good things and you help others, that you get rewarded. And I'm not talking about money or anything.
Fantastic. I'll have to try that.
I hope it's what I think it is.
Thank you very much.
Nothing to do. It's to do with work.
Good. Okay. Well, good luck to you. Good on you. Thank you very much.
Sorry to interrupt.
That's a lovely thing to say. Thank you very much. Okay.
When you said you're not talking about yourself, we knew that.
Gosh, good.
What did the Reverend say?
He said. Can I tell you that?
Yes, he can.
When you said you weren't talking about yourself, he said he knew that. But I'm sure, he's talking.
I heard it differently. I heard him say you owe him a tenner.
Yeah,
well, that could also be true. Goodness me. All right. Okay. So moving swiftly on. So if the question we're dealing with here is when you move it for your own reasons, you tamper with it improperly for your own purposes. If it breaks while you're moving, then of course you're liable.
But what does improperly mean?
For your own purposes. Good morning.
Yeah, for your own purposes, and you moved it and it broke, or the wood was about to rot and give anyway.
Yeah.
But why are you not allowed to move it for your own purpose?
You're not meant to. You're meant to just look at it. What are you doing? What are you doing pushing it about for? Putting it around? No, leave it alone.
Well, you had a necessity to move it.
Doesn't matter. If you take on to keep it and not move it, if you take on to care it,
specified I won't move it.
No, that is implicit. If I again, it's dog and duck stuff. Of course, they didn't. There's no T's and C's written out, which is very frustrating. But there it is. If you say you're going to look after something, that means not moving it around more than necessary. Leave the thing alone. Why you? I sound like my mother used to say to me, bless her, must have driven around. Why do you play with it? Leave it alone. That's what you're meant to do.
Fine. But if your wife comes along and says, "Where's that? I don't want it there."
Too bad. No, I can't because I said look at it. And if I got him, if it's in front of between the sinks and now my wife can't do her housework for a week because
if you don't move it. This is grounds for divorce.
Well, that's my stupid fault, isn't it? I should have left it. I shouldn't have sort of checked with her before I took it in. Now I've got this.
You not to move that, or
well, I can move it if it breaks down like it. If I undertake to put a 10-gallon keg of priceless wine in my kitchen between the sink and the stove, that is on me. And if my wife doesn't like it, it's too bad. I shouldn't have done it. You're right, I'm an idiot, but I did it.
If it was wine, I'd move it. If it was whiskey, I wouldn't.
Well,
I
there
think
it
she
is.
might not agree with you, Rabbi.
I'm sure she would not like to have it between the sink and the stove, especially Friday afternoon. But there
Rock
it
and a
is.
hard place.
But that's what I did because I'm an idiot. I put it there because I want to be nice to my friend, forgetting that it's all very well be nice to your friend. You've got to be nice to your wife as well. That's also important. And I didn't.
If there wasn't the dog and the duck,
Yeah.
then there would be implied terms, which would include that you would have the right to move things if you thought it was necessary.
If it's necessary for it, then yes. If it's necessary for me, then no.
If it's necessary for you, for your wife to be able to get to
No,
why not?
no, because you leave it
But
unless, of course, unless the Reverend Lemon's case where no place was specified. So if no place is specified in the first place, then I can put it down in the first place where I
Back
need.
in your account.
Once it's
Lost money and made
once it's
money.
being stored, leave it alone.
But you're being paid nothing.
But if
I'm gonna
you
make it-
ask you put
Thank
it-
you.
It's not a convenient place you put it, and you
Yeah.
want to move it.
No, that's okay. Once I put it somewhere safe for it.
Well,
That is it.
Somewhere else safe.
No, it's already safe. Leave it alone. But you'll see,
So-
this is going to
But
get worse.
Rabbi,
Yeah.
Rabbi, if we've already agreed,
Chloe, just for it, just like, yeah. Yes,
if
Chloe.
we've already agreed that Gemara, the Mishnah tells us we can't, if once you lay hands and you move it, okay, for your own benefit to tidy up or for whatever it is, you're
Yeah.
responsible for it.
Yeah.
If we already know that, and we've got an argument between two rabbis' views, the Gemara's view and Rabbi Ishmael's view,
Yeah.
okay, what are we arguing about? Are we deciding who's right and who's wrong here?
I've not even got that far yet.
You see, I'm just trying to understand what we're trying to.
Yeah, right.
Because
So at the moment,
It's,
at the
it's
moment,
so,
nothing
it's
at all.
so.
I'm just saying
it's-
what happened. I'm just saying about what happened. I'm not
If
yet
you
talking
moved
about-
it, if you moved it, you're responsible.
Correct. Well, and even if, and let's go through this again. If I move it because it's inconvenient for me, having put it in a place that is good for it, then I am liable, perhaps, even if it breaks a long time after.
Even if you're not being paid anything for it.
Yes,
So you're doing a tova for somebody,
yes, yes,
and you've got them to stick.
yes.
Yeah.
It's the friend or your wife.
Yeah.
Well, if I've undertaken to look after this thing, that is now my responsibility, and I have to square that.
But if your wife said, "You move that," or "I'm going to," you spend Shabbos on your own. I'm going to my parents.
Well, then I move it at my peril, and if it breaks, I got to pay. However, we've not yet seen what the ruling is. Let's look at the ruling. Now, the Mishnah is going to say a little bit like you, all right? But we're going to see it's not so clear. It's not so simple, all right? So let's see what the ruling is. We've just batted it about so far, saying what we think. Now let's look at the Mishnah, okay? So, if somebody deposits a barrel with his friend and did not specify where it should be, the total of Nishmani and the guard moved it and it broke. If it broke while he was moving it, if he moved it for his own purposes, he's liable. However, if it broke after he put it down, a week later, all of a sudden it just went pop, bang, and it went, then potor, like you. Okay? Then whether it was for his own purposes or for someone else's purposes, he's not liable. It's okay.
But what about witnesses?
So basically, if you put it back, you're not
This is
reliable.
argued. The guy agrees what happened. Or the woman said this is what happened. Sorry,
So,
Harry?
so if you put it back, Rabbi, you say, okay, your wife comes in and says, get rid of that. I want it
Yeah.
back to where it was originally. You're like, hands up, I'm moving it back.
Yeah.
Easy. I want my chicken soup with
Yeah.
loction, so I'm going to move it back.
Yeah.
So back it goes. You're
Right.
no longer liable. You put it back to its original space. You're fine, right? If it breaks after that,
Yes.
you've put it back to where you took it from.
Yes.
You're okay now. You're,
Yes.
you're not liable.
That's what the Mishnah says. In a situation where the owner did not specify a place.
You're off the hook then.
That's the-
If you leave it there, you're on the hook. If you take it back, you're off the hook. I'm just trying to understand it. If you leave
That's
it there,
right.
you're on the hook.
That's right.
If you
That's
take
right.
it back, you're off the hook.
Yes.
Does that mean the stick was is being undone by putting it back where it was?
Yes.
So if I lift up the lid of the barrel, just have a peek on the inside,
Yeah.
that stick was
Yes, it is. Yes, it
But
is.
if I put the lid back onto the barrel without actually taking it from the barrel,
Yeah.
that undo the stick was
Yes, that's what the Mishnah says.
My question is then, what if the shlichus yad, because returning the barrel to its original state, right?
Yeah,
What if it cannot be returned to the original state?
we're going to come to that.
Because there might be a seal on the barrel, on the lid.
We're going to come to that. And it is close.
Because
You,
then-
you don't even need to come to that. Oh my goodness me.
Exactly for the purpose of shlichus yad, so that someone does not
yeah.
tamper with it.
You're going to see. I can't even tell you. I don't want to spoil it, but you'll see. You'll see it over the page. Okay.
Time, because you specify a week.
A
Does that
month,
mean anything?
10 years, a decade,
So it's not really okay.
A
Fine. But
century.
you said a week. And I thought that was.
I
okay,
just
so
whatever. Anytime you like.
That's not.
Yeah. The guy moved it. So and again, the question is his shlichus yad, is his improper tampering with this thing he's meant to be looking after, has it finished now? Is it now, are we now back to where we were? So the Mishnah says, well, if the guy didn't specify a place, then it's all fine. Okay, yes, Bechamot.
What happens if somebody else comes along in Mittendrin
Yeah.
and moves it? So it's
That's,
not
it depends.
ahead of those two. It's
Right.
the third.
Okay, so it depends. So let's say we'll take your case. I'm a shemichin. I'm looking at it for free, just for a friend. So now it depends on under what circumstances somebody else moved it. If I had some friends over for tea, and they say, "What's that 10-gallon barrel doing between your sink and your stove?" Well, I'm looking at it for me. I want to say, "Oh, let's have a look." And he starts poking about with it, and I say, "Oh, I say, just lift up the lid, break the seal there." You say, "It's really nice, man. Give it a smell. Look at that. Smell that bouquet," and all these things that I say. That's on me.
Yeah.
Because I shouldn't have been encouraging you to do it. If, however, somebody sneaks in the dead of night when I'm fast asleep and a professional thief comes and starts making money out of it, I'm not liable for that. That's geneva. That's and a shomer chinam, a voluntary guard, is not liable for theft. So
God would be.
yes, correct. Yeah.
Because that was.
But if you're moving it, Rabbi,
Correct.
if you're taking it out of its original space,
Yeah.
you're halfway between the garage and the kitchen,
Yeah.
and the guy comes over and says, "Hang on a second, you're stealing that." No, I'm
Right.
putting it in the kitchen. Well, no,
Right.
you've moved it. Therefore, surely you're possibly stealing it. I mean, I know you're not a rabbi, and I trust you, but
No,
surely
don't
you,
do that.
in what we're reading here,
Yeah.
you're potentially stealing it. I don't know.
We're going to do that. I can't talk about that either. We're talking about it over the page. Sorry.
No, I'm just
Look
looking
at
at the
you all.
theft element.
I'm sorry.
I know because of the theft element that we spoke about. That you're stealing.
Yeah.
You said.
I can't say. Sorry about that.
You just did say though. I was just okay.
Yeah, all I've got is what I got, and that's precious little so far. Okay, so let's see. The Gemara is going to open it up for it. Okay, so now we're going to look at the Gemara on that bit of Mishnah. Hamani, who is this in our Mishnah? This is Rabbi Yishmael. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so we've got again the case is the owner did not specify a place. The guard moved it around for his own purposes improperly, and then he let it alone, and then a week later it broke. The guard is not liable because the Mishnah says the owner did not specify a place. Lo yichadu lo bani mokem, it says. If he did specify a place, it would be a problem.
You show no interest in just a story and no interest in wanting to know or see where it's stored.
Indeed. Yeah. That's exactly it. Okay. Now then, so the Gemara says, I know who our Mishnah goes at. It goes at Rabbi Yishmael. And the reason why we said last week, the reason why the Gemara had to say this is because it seems a bit weird that he did a shlichus yad. He messed about with this barrel when he should not have done. He's not allowed to move it for his own purposes, or even for shalom bayis. He can only move it to look after it, not look after himself and his marriage and all that stuff. So how come he moves it about and he's not liable if it broke a week later?
Because the shlichus yad ends, according to that rabbi, the moment he puts down the barrel, it stops moving.
Yes, so correct. And now we're gonna investigate this opinion a bit more. We're gonna see what's going on. Okay, nice one. I'm sorry.
Rabbi Yishmael says whatever you do,
I'm sorry.
but Rabbi Yishmael saying I don't care what you do with it. You've moved it. End of story. Right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have a. He doesn't seem to have a. They don't seem to agree on anything about the movement. Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Yishmael don't seem to agree on anying.
Well, yeah, I think you're right. We'll see in just a second. Okay, let's have a look at.
Don't seem to. That's why I said seem to, because I'm sure I'm wrong.
We've had the dog and duck. Now we're going to have the lamb and coin, which is not a pub. It's actually a case or two cases. All right. So How many?
Rabbi, sorry, you've just reminded me. I have to say, I was working yesterday at the Royal Albert Hall, and it reminded me of our class when we were talking about playing at the
Right.
Royal Albert Hall,
Yes, that's right.
and I could just think about it. And actually, while I'm saying it was a very funny comedian on it, was for the King's Trust, and the King was there, and a very funny comedian came on. She was a Muslim lady, young girl comedian, and she said, "This is the most wonderful building in London. Really wonderful. In fact, by next week it'll probably be a mosque." And I thought that was very funny. I would just share
Wow.
that with the
Yes.
King listening.
Okay.
But it made me think of our teachings about the Royal Albert Hall taking
Absolutely. We're
all the way
finding a
back
lot of
there with the
stuff.
piano player for the cow.
That's right. That's right. I remember that. Thank you. Brilliant. Okay. Now then, Yisakir. So, how many Rabbi Shmuel? So, Gemara says, our Mishnah is Rabbi Shmuel. Why? The Amar who says, "Lo ba'inon das bali," we do not require the consent of the owner. This is talking about how to end the shlichus yad. How do I say it's no longer happening? The tampering has now finished. Now I'm being a responsible guard once again. So I'm not liable for accidents, bolts out the blue that happened to this thing. I'm only liable for my own direct negligence. Because you'll recall, we said last week that if you, for example, if you steal something and then before you give it back, it gets struck by lightning or some terrible act of God, and it gets swept away in a tornado or something, you still have to return it because you stole it. And you can't say it's not my fault, an act of God happened. No, once you stole it, you've taken responsibility.
Don't give it back, exactly.
How do you stole?
I'm not talking about this case, I'm a regular
Oh,
case.
right.
So, and my battery was the that. If you were to steal something, you just took it from somebody's home,
Right.
you ran off with it, then it got struck by lightning, and it exploded into 1,000 pieces. It is irrevocably gone. It disappeared. You can't give it back. You had to pay money now. You can't come to the original owner and say, "I'm sorry, it wasn't my fault. I got struck by lightning." No. Once you take it, you're liable to return it in any case, even if an act of God deprives you of it.
Yeah.
And the same is true with shlichus yad. That's a crucial point to bear in mind here. If you tamper with this barrel, then you are as responsible for it, technically, as a thief. You're just like a thief. You have to return it, or you have to stop your shlichus yad, stop your improper tampering, and until you do so, you are as liable for it as a thief. And if something crazy happens to it, like it falls apart a week later, you're liable.
How are you liable if something just you store and get your
You've got to put it back. If you took it, you've got to put it back.
But
That's why. And if you
Whose
didn't
view
put it
is
back-
this?
I'm sorry?
Is this Rabbi Akiva or Rabbi Yishmael's view?
This is just the notion of shlichus yad altogether.
Okay.
We're
Right.
not yet come to the
the
argument.
guy know
Witnesses.
where's the witnesses? Well, he
They're
said
in the
he
kitchen.
left it in your
My
garden.
dinner guests. My dinner guests were there. They were out for dinner. They're having a barbie.
Oh, but you were outside. You were outside making the barbie when it was moved there.
Yeah, I used the barrel to fuel it. Yeah, that's a bad mistake.
How does one end shlichus yad?
Ah, yes, that's precise. Thank you so much. So the argument to Rabbi Shimon Rabbi Akiva is not what shlichus yad is. It's not how liable you are. The argument is, when does it end? How do I stop my shlichus yad? I realize, oh my goodness, I shouldn't have tampered with it. How do I stop it? So Rabbi Shimon
Can't do it anymore.
no, so Rabbi Shimon says that you. Rabbi Shimon says, just leave it alone. Stop. And then, we don't need the consent of the owner. Once you stop mucking about with it, your shlichus yad ends. That is that.
That's debatable because if I take off the lid,
Yeah.
then they say, "Oh no, I'm doing shlichus yad." Just drop
Yeah.
the lid down. Then
Oh no, because that now it's not been properly guarded.
yeah,
You got to restore it to how it was.
exactly, and that's not always possible. It can be that the lid had a seal on it, and once I removed it,
Right. Put on another seal.
I can't because the seal is the seal of the king.
Put on your own seal. Just
Yeah.
to keep tamper proof. Put on your own seal. Whatever. Do something. Do what you can. You're right. If you can't, let's say, for example, if you pour the wine down the drain,
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
gone. That's it.
that's
You're
gone.
now you're a mazik.
But that's a different case. That's
Well, no,
not-
technically it's a kind of shlichus yad. It's an improper tampering that cannot be undone because you
Yeah.
thrown it away. So then you're right. There's nothing to do.
And if
Yeah.
the chunk of the lid rents the broth.
Well, mend it. Do what you can. You know, so and you're right. If you can't, you can't. Unless you're a shlichus yad, is that you smash the thing up with the sledgehammer.
And
You think-
that's destruction.
Yeah, well, but it's an extreme shlichus yad. But we're doing a shlichus yad that is just the sort of moving it around. That's what it's minor. It's not that invasive. So according to Rabbi Shmuel, once you stop mucking about, we're sorted. How do you know this? Because we've got a Bryce which tells about it. Hagoine tole mino eda. Somebody steals a lamb from the enclosure, the selaminakis, or a coin from a wallet. L'mokim shegonav yachse. Rabbi Shmuel says, return it to where you took it. That's all you have to do. Resume where you were. Put things back to how they were before, and that is it. You don't even need to tell the owner. Rabbi Akiva said, no, not so fast. Rabbi Akiva says, Tzorich das balim. You need to tell the owner what happened and get his permission to go back to where we were. So I moved your lamb, I moved your coin. Now I put it back. Is that okay? Can I just count being a God again? Can you release me from the unlimited responsibility of shlichus yad? And the owner can say yay or nay. It's up to him. But you need that permission. Again, in front of witnesses, as you say. Okay,
But lamb is a wild animal, so
thank you very much. You're talking to Tosus now, and we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that. Yeah, Yisakir.
okay.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, a lamb is a wild
And
animal.
it's got a
Thank
symbol
you.
on it probably as well.
Sorry?
It's got a symbol on it. with-
It may well have. Yeah.
Usually if it's owned
We
by
know
somebody.
whose lamb it is. Yeah, we know his lamb. But you know, no, but the owner knows, and I can recognize it. Like, maybe the owner lamb in the enclosure, for all I know. They'll keep it simple.
Okay.
But lambs don't stay in one place. Just by the way, they move up. Okay, thank you.
This is very woolly.
I think it's sheepish, but coins stay in one place. Coins stay in one place. Keep that notice, unless you move it around. Or if you leave a coin somewhere, there's nobody around. It'll just stay there.
After there's a levy.
Oh, very good, very good. Okay, so
Order.
that is the view of Rabbi Shmuel and Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Shmuel says once you just stop messing about with it and you resume where you were and how things were, that's okay. However, according to Rabbi Akiva, you need permission from the owner to waive the shlichus yad responsibility, which is unlimited.
If you moved
Yeah,
it, you know, in your wherever you've stored it,
yeah.
selling a garage, whatever. Who knows about it? But you-
Witnesses, there are witnesses.
Well, witness what you
Then
do.
your guests, your dinner guests were there. They saw it all.
You did it 2 o'clock in the morning.
Then you're right. There's no witnesses, no witnesses. You're right. But we're talking about, but the Mishnah is talking where these facts are established. So let's say there are witnesses. You're quite right. You're quite
Well,
right.
then you would have to have witnesses.
For sure. Yeah. Or he admits it in court. This is what I
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
You know, he tells you, I was moving it because I wanted to, because it was in the way. My marriage was on the rocks, and then it broke. You know, or it broke a week later. Whatever. Either he tells the guy or the witnesses, whatever. Yeah. But those are the facts of the case. That's what the Mishnah says. So I've got to go with that. I can't argue with that. Okay. So the Gemara says, here's a funny thing. Rabbi Shmuel, my area lo yichadu, and this comes back to Alex's point from where you said it in passing. And I let it go because I was feeling nice. Right? If you're saying the Mishnah like Rabbi Shmuel, my area lo yichadu, why does the Mishnah say we're talking where he didn't specify a place? Afilu yichadu nami. Why they only did specify a place? He said, I want you to leave it in the back left-hand corner of the garage. Nowhere else. Not back right, not back middle, not front and center, not by the door. Nowhere else. Only back left. Just there. Is that okay? And the guy said, yeah, that's absolutely fine. Not a problem with that. And he puts it there. What if the owner says that, then the guard moves it from there and puts it back again? According to Rabbi Yishmael, have we finished the shlichus yad? He put it back exactly where it was. It was touching the wall. In fact, more than that, when he came, he drew a chalk line on the garage floor and said, I want the bar to be within this line, in the corner. And he moves it around, he shows his friends, he does weightlifting with it, whatever you like, then he takes it back inside, he puts it back inside the chalk line. It is absolutely fine. As witnesses as well, all fine. Is at the end of Shlichus Yad. Well, you're kind of right, but the problem is the Mishnah doesn't say like you. The Mishnah says it's only when he doesn't specify a place. But if he specifies a place, oh no, in that case he need the permission of the owner. Chayav, he's liable. That's the implication of the Mishnah. The Mishnah says, lo yichdu lo ba'alif.
What if
Okay,
a member of the family comes along boozy without the
that's on the owner, on the guard rather. The guard should be paying attention to what his family's doing. If he's looking after a £100,000 barrel of antique claret, whatever it is, it's all extremely expensive. He's got to make sure his little kids stay away. They can't use it for cricket practice. No, leave it alone. It's a precious barrel of wine looking after somebody else. Do not go near it.
But, I mean,
Lock the garage
so,
door.
I mean, like in your case, you get an important phone call. Somebody needs
Yep,
to speak to you.
yep.
You've no idea. Your kids have gone down and are.
I'm sorry, if you take on responsibility to look after this thing, you've got to put that responsibility.
Right. Put on
That's on you. You should have said no. If you said yes, that's on you.
Would you then sleep with it?
Perhaps if that's a reasonable guarding for it, then yes.
Okay.
But if you haven't moved it, if you
Just
moved
saying,
it back,
Colin,
Locking the garage door is enough to prevent people from.
maybe, yeah. Well, whatever you think. Whatever. Sorry, Colin.
if you've moved the barrel back to where the guy put the chalk marking,
Yeah.
so you've moved it around. The kids have played with it. You come in and go, "Don't be ridiculous! I'm going to move it back." You put it
Right,
back there,
right.
so nobody's none the wiser other than the kids that are never there. Okay, whatever happens after that, you're free of any ruling or anything because you put it back where it was left, and there it is. Now, if it breaks a few days later, it's not your fault.
Correct. Well, you should be right, but the problem is the Mishnah doesn't say that. The Mishnah says all this is only true if lo yichdu lo ba'alim moken. It's only true if you didn't move it. Oh, sorry, if you didn't specify a place. I'm sorry.
I think there is a reason for it, and that might be that when the owner specifies a place, moving it is more than just accidental tampering or tampering in a very light sense. It's very deliberate action. Take it out of the agreed place and move it somewhere else.
Okay, I'm going to make it worse. Going to make it harder for you. As it happens, we know full. I hear what you're saying, but you're wrong. And this is going to Tosfos and your question from before. Tosfos says that you're wrong, and Tosfos explains the Gemara's question more. He says we can demonstrate with a certainty that in fact Rabbi Shmuel says that even if you did designate a place for it, and you moved it and put it back, you are not liable. We know that Rabbi Shmuel says, in fact, you all know this. So the Mishnah is definitely wrong. If you want to say the Mishnah of Rabbi Shmuel, that is definitely wrong because I know for a certainty that if you designate a place for something and then the guard moves it around, puts it back in, the guard does not need the owner's permission. He has under Nishlichus Yad, simply put it back, and I can prove it to you from Rabbi Shmuel, and you have all seen this already today, since 12 o'clock.
But that's what I said all along.
Yes, but I can prove it to you. I can prove it. I can prove that Rabbi Shmuel says he's din, despite what Alex wants to say. Now, I hear what you're saying, but you're wrong, but it's clever. And I can prove to you that Rabbi Shmuel says, even if the owner did specify a place, if you just put it back, when you're done, that's okay. If it broke a week later, you're not allowed.
Saying you're not allowed to touch it.
That's true. You're not allowed to touch it, and you did, and you're
the showman.
Yeah.
And you're entitled to go to bed at night, and
yeah.
you don't know a ganef's going to come.
So you're not liable. You're not like if it's shemich, you're not liable for thieves. You're right.
The question
You're
is
right.
then what's the point of specifying the place if one can move it somewhere else and put it back?
You're not meant to move it, but if you do move it and then put it back and it breaks a week later, you're not liable.
There's another thing at play though, isn't there? Because if you move it and then put it back, let's just say you move it and we go back to the discussion of the seal. So
Yeah.
actually you've moved it, this little seal, you didn't realize there was a little crack in it and some of the wine came out and you put your glass there and you caught some of the wine in it. So now you've actually gunned some of his wine and you've put it back to the place and you've
Right.
stolen a bit of wine because it wasn't visible to the eye. So
Right.
now you've actually taken some of the wine. So by putting it back, actually, if you're relieved of any duty, then you're sort of saying, well, it's okay if a bit fell out and you stole it and drunk it, and he doesn't notice it. You're okay. Well, that can't be right.
It's not right. You're correct there. If some of it's gone, you've got to pay that back. And again, we're talking about there's witnesses all along, just to keep it simple.
Okay.
So if they saw that a glass of the wine went, and this is a 100,000 pound barrel of wine,
Yeah,
so a
no,
glass
no,
going to cost you £100. You pay it back. You can't say, oh, it's a bit of a leak. Who cares? No, that's awful. But we're talking about the barrel is entirely as it was. You moved it, you put it back into the specified place. Our Mishnah implies that according to Rabbi Shmuel, you are liable because our Mishnah only says you're not liable when the owner did not specify a place. That's what the Mishnah says. Lo yichudu lo ba'alim moken. In that case, the Mishnah says you're not liable, implying that if the owner did specify a place, you would be liable. And I can prove to you that Rabbi Shmuel does not say that. Do you want to hear my proof?
Right.
Do you want to hear it? Do you want to hear it? Go on.
That's great.
So we're going to talk about the lamb and coin again at our other pub. Okay. So the case of Rabbi Shmuel says you don't need the owner's permission. It's not just talking about a case of a lamb, as we see, it's also talking about a case of a coin. Now here's a funny thing, says Tosus. Why is there about two cases? A lamb and a coin. Just about one. A lamb or a thing. Yeah, chipetz, an item. But no. He has to say a lamb and a coin. Why? Why does it say a lamb and a coin? Why does it say two specific, two funny things? We never had the combination of a lamb and a coin before.
Those lambs have 4 legs and can move, and coins don't.
Aha! Thank you very much. So Zot Michael.
I didn't hear that. So can you repeat that, please?
Michael says because lambs have legs and they move, and coins don't have legs and they don't move. Spot on. That's what Toaster says. So the reason I have these two cases because Rabbi Shmuel says, I don't just say that your shlichus yad finishes without the owner's permission with a lamb, which is running around like a mad thing all day long. I even say it with a coin. Now, chances are with a coin, when you deposit a coin, you don't just say put it wherever you like. You say put it in the wallet in your safe, on the top shelf in the middle. That's the normal case of a coin. Even in that case, Rabbi Shmuel says you don't need das ba'alim. You don't need the permission of the owner.
Now that's the coin phrase.
Thank you very good. Thank you very much. And I'm going to flip it just for fun while I'm at it.
Oh, I know.
The coin.
I didn't even think of that.
Heads or tails?
I didn't think of that. Very good. So according to Rabbi Akiva, you need to have permission of the owner even when there is no specific place, like a lamb. You can't say, keep the lamb in the corner of the field. That's not what lambs do. They run around like mad things all day long.
Where's the lamb come into this?
I'm sorry?
Where did the lamb come into it? Suddenly
I'll
the
tell
lamb's
you,
on.
because that is the case of Rabbi Shmuel and Rabbi Akiva. Don't blame me. I didn't make this stuff up. Just a second. Have a look at the bottom of the previous page. There it is, large as life. Just a second. I slipped it in before. I didn't make a video of it because I was feeling particularly nasty. The second to the line, previous page, the Tanya, as it says in the Brisa, Hagoine tolemina eder. Somebody steals a lamb from the enclosure, kis, or a coin from a wallet. L'mokin shegonav yachli, return it to where you got it from. Now, obviously, with a lamb, it doesn't mean return it to the very same spot. Lambs don't stay still; they hop about. I've seen them in the spring. They literally frisk. They jump. They do practically somersaults in the air. I've seen it myself. They love it. They run around. So a lamb is the classic example of something where you can't specify a place for it.
Mhm.
And a coin, and then Rabbi Akiva says, in that case, you're still liable. Even though there's no place to put it back to. You're liable till you get the owner's permission. And according to Rabbi Shmuel, even with the coin, where of course you're going to specify a place. I don't want it left, on his sundial in the driveway. Forget that. I'm going to have it in a wallet in the safe. Nonetheless, Rabbi Shmuel says, even in that case, I say, once you put it back, it's okay. So why does our Mishnah have this weird sort of middle ground where he's saying, Rabbi Shmuel says, if you say it is Rabbi Shmuel, that's what the Gemara says, Haman Rabbi Shmuel, and that's not what Rabbi Shmuel says. Rabbi Shmuel says, in any case, just put it back in the broadest sense, and it's okay. But our Mishnah says, no, Mishnah says, that only works if the owner didn't specify a place. Then you can just put it anywhere. But if the owner specifies a place, our Mishnah implies, it has to be put back specifically to that place. Yeah, Rabbi Shimon doesn't say that. Rabbi Shimon says even with a wallet, just whatever. You don't need the view of the owner about where exactly it goes. Just put it back somewhere or other. As long as he's still looking after it in the broader sense, that's okay. So Rabbi Shmuel in the Brisa says one thing, the Mishnah says another thing. How can you say that our Mishnah is Rabbi Shmuel? Just doesn't add up. Doesn't make sense. It's completely contradictory. And this is how Tosfos explains the Gemara. Because Tosfos says, how does the Gemara know that Rabbi Shmuel